What's up, everybody? Welcome to Eternal Midnight. I'm Chad. I'm here with Santino.
What's up, guys?
We are in week 3 of Friday the 13th month. We have reached the second half of the series. We're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, and Jason Goes to Hell. So we're going to start off with The New Blood. And Santino, I remember you telling me this Tina is your new favorite final girl.
Yeah, no, wait. The more I think about Part 7, the more I really enjoyed a lot. I think it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, hey, and you know what? This is one for the longest time. This was like one of the ones a lot of people were like, we don't like this one. But
Why?
I've noticed well, that's what I'm saying. I've noticed lately, this one is really, really starting to get a resurgence of fans starting to put it in like their top threes and top fives. Like
Yeah,
this one is really picking up
the
steam
more I
again.
think about it when I do my list at the end of the review, I'm thinking of putting it at number one.
I can't blame you because
And
Tina is awesome.
not just that, I mean, like, Tina's a great character, and honestly, she's a way more compelling character than Tommy Jarvis. And, like, my gripe with this movie is, like, we don't see. This is, like, the one movie we have with her. Like, she's this awesome telekinetic girl, and we have one movie with her, and we have three with Tommy Jarvis. Like, personally, I don't like Tommy Jarvis as a main character. I really
You're
don't.
not alone. I know quite a few people who've said they were like Tommy had a good arc, but I was never that interested in him.
Me neither. I was never interested. I was more interested in Tina's story, and I was gonna just right out of the gate. The kills in this movie are like fucking fantastic. I love the
And the
kills.
only but did you notice something with some of these kills? We almost never saw them happen on screen.
Oh yeah. It was like that was
You want to
cut
know
out.
why?
Yeah,
So here was the problem. This was the movie that like the MPAA when doing their ratings, they were like all in the world's most like foulest moods in the world when this one got submitted and they made almost every single kill like get trimmed down. Every single one. Like remember the sleeping bag kill?
yeah.
Originally, Jason was supposed to hit the sleeping bag against the tree like 4 or 5 times and blood was spraying out of it. But they had to cut it down to just the one time and then the chick falls out of the bag.
No joke. It makes a kill better.
I
It
have
makes,
heard so many people say that as well.
no joke. It makes a kill better because it's like, man, he's strong. Like one hit against the tree and like, oh, okay. I mean, like, legit, the characters again, they're all forgettable, to be honest. And like, no joke, all I can remember is Tina, Jason, the doctor, and that hot snobby rich girl Melissa. She was so.
I love the way when she introduced herself to Tina the first time. I love the way she said her name, Melissa. She was like such a bitch about it.
She was so hot. She was really hot.
She was. You know who else I thought was actually pretty hot? That redheaded chick Robin who hooked up with the stoner.
Yeah, and she got died when she was thrown out the window, right?
She was another one that Jason threw out the window and probably never should have died.
Like, dude. Like,
Because I love the way she landed. She just kind of like, she got thrown out the window and she just kind of like thunk lands on the pavement. And it's like, that killed you?
that killed you. Like,
What is her bones made of glass?
like there's some there's like a lot of suspension of disbelief here. Like the very end when Tina summons her dead dad to drag Jason back down to the water. Like, okay. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but oh, okay, sure.
I thought that was and you know what? Back to what we were saying about the difference between Tina and Tommy Jarvis for you. It almost feels like what they did with Tina in this movie. It's like they did it with her in one movie, what took them almost 3 movies to do with Tommy Jarvis. Like she started out with, the abusive dad and runs away. I wish you were dead. That's when her powers suddenly manifest. She causes him to die. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Falling in the water killed him because, yeah, but those beams couldn't have been that heavy. But whatever, he died. Who cares? And then it's like it's almost like they took a bit of what they did with Chris from part 3, bringing her back to where this trauma happened. And it's like, it's time to help her get over it. And the way the doctor was doing it was hilarious, just pissing her off. And it's like, you could just tell this guy was an asshole from the get-go.
Bad news cruise. That's another one I can remember.
I love that bad news cruise.
I was like, I love how he died real quick. The weed whacker.
Yes.
That was like, I mean, like, you killed the mom. You're a fucking dick, dude. Like, I want
Wasn't that, dude? He uses the mom as a
that's a
human
human
shield.
shield. I was like, dude, like, what the hell? I mean,
What
like,
an asshole.
I mean, like, I wanted to. When it happened, I said I want to die. I want to die in the most horrific way possible. And then Jason comes with a weed whacker. I'm like, yes, that's.
And it's not even one of those like real shitty small ones. It's one of those like giant industrial ones that can like cut through small trees.
Yeah, like, yes, that's exactly what I want to see. Go, please, Jason. Impale. Yes, yes. All right, yes.
Tear him to pieces. It's like, it's so funny because it's like there were so many of these characters who, like you said, I mean, this one is definitely one of the bigger ones of lots of these people were just here to get slaughtered.
Oh yeah.
Like what's it? Ben and Kate, the two who were hooking up in the van, and Ben got out and
I know that.
Jason like ripped his jaw off him.
The party horn. Where she's fucking
Right in her eye.
I was like, wow. Like, yeah, I like that. That's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
and oh, go ahead. What's up?
like, I was like, what a fucking step up from like Friday the 13th Part 1, where like the kills are just like, you know, like slash here, an axe to the head, and like, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, but like now it's like, oh shit.
No kidding.
It's like, it's bigger, it's badder, it's like more disgusting, but I love it.
I love it too. You know who actually one of my favorite characters was? that like sci-fi dork who was running around the whole movie. Yeah, the one who like Melissa was using to make him jealous of oh god, what was the main guy's name? Nick.
Oh yeah.
She wanted Nick to be jealous, so she's hooking up with Mr. Sci-Fi guy. I think it was Eddie. No, Eddie was the stoner. No, that was Russell. I think. I don't. No. I don't remember. I don't remember half these characters' names. Unfortunately, there's too many of them.
There's too many.
But yeah, the sci-fi guy cracked me up because he just like he talked like such a stereotypical sci-fi dork. Like the first time he meets Tina, he like runs up to her and he's like, "I need an objective opinion," and he like tells her about his lame ass story that he's writing, and she's just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And Nick's like, "Yeah, avoid him. He's not all there."
Yeah, I see. So like, even though it was simple, I love how Melissa died. Axe to the face and
axe to the head,
and
then he just like
jumps her like a fucking rag doll. I'm like, oh.
He slams the axe into her head. He grabs the like hilt of the axe and throws that, and she goes flying behind the TV. I was like, damn. Yes, was she a bitch? Yes. Did she deserve it? Probably. I think she kind of did.
Yeah.
Because she was relentless. She was a bitch for no reason the whole movie.
Yeah, and I did like Tina fighting Jason.
Oh, dude, those are some of the coolest things about the entire Friday the 13th franchise.
Yeah, like you know, Jason getting hit with like a lamppost, bulbs, him falling to like the stairs. Him getting hit, like him getting burned alive and still surviving. Like, man,
she throws all those nails at his face. Oh, what'd you think of that when his mask came off? What'd you think of his face in this movie?
Stein was like, wow, that's awesome.
Was that not one of the coolest designs ever? Because it's like he started out like that as this like random hillbilly living in the woods. Up to you know, he gets butchered to pieces. He gets killed, buried, resurrected. Now he's been like under the water for who knows how long. So it's like he's decomposed. Everything about him is just falling apart. And it's like, oh, and also did you notice like anytime we saw his full body, there was parts where like his clothes were starting to deteriorate, and you could like see his like skeleton and whatnot poking through his clothes. They did a damn good job designing Jason in this movie.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah, so back to what you were saying about Tina just like taking the mick out of him. I mean, she dropped the roof on him.
I like the fact that she threw like the potted plant with one of the guy's heads in it.
That was great.
Nice.
His head was in there and it just like flew off.
And then you know, I want to talk about like the best kill. The best kill in
Which one?
The tent. the girl getting wrapped up in the tent bag, the sleeping bag, and then
Oh, the sleeping bag kill.
yeah, and
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
thrown to the tree. I was like, dude.
Just dude, the sleeping bag kill scene is like one of the most infamous scenes of this entire franchise. Like everyone knows about it. It's like universally loved.
Yeah, when we get to part 8 though, there's one kill on top of it. I love it.
Oh yeah. So real quick on this one, did you notice anything like particularly so something we haven't really talked about in most of these movies almost is Jason himself. Did you notice something kind of different about Jason in this one compared to the other movies? Like did it seem like he had a little more personality to himself?
Yeah, why?
Because this is when Kane Hodder took over as Jason
Oh.
for basically the rest of the franchise up until Freddy versus Jason. Like he was Jason in this 8, 9, and 10. Like the man is Kane Hodder is like a legend. He's like the most famous Jason of all. And he was in part 9 not as Jason. I'll tell you what part he was when we get to that later. But yeah, I mean, Kane Hodder, he's a stunt man, and I mean, he did all his own shit in this.
He's getting burned alive?
Well, he probably had like a bodysuit on, but Kane Hodder started out as a stunt man before he became Jason.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To be fair, like he can take Jason took a lot more damage here than like the previous movies.
He took a shit. He got electrocuted. He had nails thrown at his face, lit on. He was in the house when it blew up, and he still survived. What'd you think of that house explosion?
That's an awesome explosion.
And it's funny. Actually, I have the documentary. Anybody out there, if you haven't seen it, it's Crystal Lake Memories. They talk about this. When they went to blow up the house, they said that explosion was way bigger than any of them were expecting. Like they show it on the documentary. You can hear people be like, "Holy shit!" They're like, "It wasn't supposed to be that big." So, what? Anything else you can think of to say about part 7? Like, you said this is probably one of your favorites. So, like, what else really stood out to you?
What really stood out to me was Tina. She was really such a really great main character. Probably the best main character I've seen in the entire 9 movies I've seen.
Well, let's go over her evolution from the beginning of the movie until the end. Like, what did you think of the girl that we started with until basically the hero we got at the end?
Perfect character arc. She's one with a really great character arc. She's scared of her powers at the beginning. It almost reminds me of 11 from Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Scared of her powers at the beginning, but at the end she's able to take down the Demogorgon and the Mind Flayer in season 2. Same thing with here. She's scared of her powers at the beginning and she's unsure of herself. Then she ends up being a really great character and she takes down Jason. She was the one
who inadvertently brought him back to life while trying to bring her father back to life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she corrected that mistake. She was able to.
Oh yeah, I mean, at the expense of how many people's lives?
16.
Including her mom's.
Oh yeah, give or take.
Her poor mother just got impaled with a spear. That was. I felt so bad for her because her mom was such an awesome character. Oh man, so yeah, Friday the 13th Part 7. So would you say that this one's probably entertained you the most since we've started this?
Definitely.
Even more than 4.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I can't blame you. I love this one, and I've always been in the minority of people telling me, "Oh, 7 sucks because they censor all the kills." It's like I get it, but it's like think about it. This one had it's like we were talking about I think last week where we were discussing 1, 2, and 3 and how they really didn't have stories and arcs to them really. At least 1 and 2 really didn't. I think 3 had a little more of an arc than you guys did with Chris. But it's like this one almost felt like a return to part 3 with what Tina went through, but I think they executed it better.
Oh yeah. No joke, they really did.
So yeah, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. I think it's unanimous. You and I both really enjoyed it, and Yeah, I genuinely hope a lot more people out there give this one a rewatch and give it another shot. Give it another shot. Maybe you'll have more fun with it this time. Maybe you'll still hate it. I don't know. So now we move on to the final Friday the 13th of the Paramount era before it went to New Line. Jason Takes Manhattan. And I know this was the one you told me you were like, this was the one you said you were like almost looking forward to the most, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Just because of the title.
Yeah, and what a misleading title. Should have been called Jason.
That's what everyone says. It's like they should have realized, but it's like they released the title and they're like, well, what else would we call it? Oh, he'll be in New York for like 20 minutes. Let's just call it that. But it's like, in all honesty, the director did have ideas. He wanted to do more in New York, but they would not up the budget for him. So it's like originally the director and writer had great ideas that they wanted to do, and they basically, or the director, Rob Heaton, he also wrote it. He unfortunately was not able to make, due to budget reasons, he was not able to make the movie that he wanted to make. So it's a shame. I'm sure it's out there on the internet. Anybody listening, if you know where I can read the original script, let me know down below or something, because I'd love to see what he originally wanted to, what he wanted to make. But so we'll stick with the film that we've got. What did you think?
I liked it. I mean, like, the kills weren't really memorable, save for like 3 kills. But like, Jason on a boat and he kills a bunch of people. Like, okay, yeah. I like, like kind of unbelievable. Like when they abandon ship, they row all the way to New York City. For some reason, like, what? Okay, like, is Camp Crystal Lake anywhere near?
Well, the boat, I hate making excuses for it, but the popular theory is the boat that Jim and Susie were on, the two who he killed at the beginning, Jason, for some reason, stayed on the boat after killing Susie, and the boat floated down the river to the port where the big cruise liner was. But the weird thing is, Camp Crystal Lake, it's obviously never been established that it's like a closed lake, but they've also never established that it follows a river down to the ocean. So, but then again, we've seen Crystal Lake look so many different ways. We've seen it from a giant, beautiful lake to a small, muddy pond. So, Camp Crystal Lake or Crystal Lake changes with every movie, anyways.
Yeah, Camp Crystal Lake it's weird.
It's whatever it wants to be.
Yeah, but like, I did like some of the kills, but like a lot of them are like just like knives, axes, nothing we've seen before. But like like halfway through like the movie, I like the Sauna Rock. Sauna Rock was
that was painful.
Not the best kill, but one of those.
It was inventive and it was painful as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Imagine that. You're laying there and suddenly a rock, like the hottest rock ever, is suddenly just shoved into you.
Ugh.
Ah! Or what is it? One of the kills that I've always... She was a bitch, and she probably deserved to die too, Tamra. Dude, the way she died I thought was kind of brutal. Like, the way that they filmed it, I thought was like, damn, like she gets hit in the head, she falls down, Jason punches the mirror, grabs a shard of glass.
Oh yeah.
And as he's like coming up to her, the next thing you hear is like her scream echoing out of one of like the big things coming out of the ship. And it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, she did try to seduce the teacher just so she wouldn't fail her class.
I thought an Asian girl died. For some reason, Jason can teleport around the dance floor.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you recognize that actress, by the way?
No, I don't, but she looks familiar.
That was Kelly Hu.
Who is that?
She was Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Now I see it. All right, yeah.
A younger version of her, but still cool nonetheless.
Yeah. And so like, They killed like to be honest, like one of the guys I also like is that guy the camera guy shot into the circuit board. I was like, oh,
Shit, what was his name? Why did it just Wayne? The dude was like the stereotypical dork.
uh,
World's biggest, thickest glasses. Accidentally shoot someone, can't see shit, and then thrown at the electric, and then thrown at the control board, electrocuted, and lit on fire.
oh yeah, that was fun to
What
watch.
a way to go.
And eventually, like they get to Manhattan, and you see like I find we're in Manhattan, and we're like what an hour into the movie. All right,
Well,
nice.
before we hit Manhattan, let's backtrack just a little bit,
All right,
so we can talk about Mr. McCulloch, and we can talk about Rennie a little bit. Rennie was the final girl,
right, right.
and Mr. McCulloch was her asshole
Father.
uncle, who was her legal guardian.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm in the minority. I like Rennie. I think she was a good character, but she was. The problem with Rennie is she had no charisma.
Yeah.
She was very, very. She was just very bland and flat in the scenes that she was in, and it sucked because I think Rennie could have been cool. I think her backstory with Jason didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because if Jason did drown, how was he there to grab her under the water? Even though he wasn't, it didn't make any goddamn sense. But
And also like it's really kind of stepped down because like I watched it immediately after part 7, so it's like he's just stepped down from Tina, who's like one of the best like characters
how do you
ever.
compete with that?
Yeah, how do you compete with that? So it's like I don't want to judge her too harshly because she really just came after Tina, who's like who the last we see of Tina, she's in an ambulance with her friend, and we never see her again. And like I would have wanted like I would have also here's how I would have done it if I was gonna direct like 7, 8, 9. I would have wanted like Tina as like the main girl, like maybe like
Well,
maybe,
nine's a different story, so 7 and 8.
yeah, exactly. So like
Because 9 was done by New Line.
I would have wanted her to return, like even as like a girl who survived Jason, so like she can teach them how to survive, and like but
You know what? Let's get. You know how they're always doing. You know how in Hollywood it's always they do the remake, and then nobody likes the remake, and then they go back to the original timeline.
yeah.
Let's go back to this original timeline. Let's get as many of the final girls back as we can, and like all of them team up to go after Jason or
That's
something.
awesome. Yeah.
How sick would that be?
That's awesome. I
See
want
like
to
Ginny and Chris and Tina and Rennie all team up or something.
see that. I really want to see that because it's like that's awesome. See, see Tina return because she was a damn good main character, and it sucks we only got to see one of her.
Mm-hmm. But so with Rennie, I did like the character. I did.
Okay, it's just that she's
Yeah.
just down. I honestly felt bad when like we never saw Tina again. And that was it. That was it for her. So it's like, Randy in this movie was like, yeah, she was cool, but like, I just came from seeing Tina, and as much as I like Rennie, like Tina was just like amazing. So
No, I agree, and that's why I'm saying like I'm in the minority of liking her because I know a lot of fans who are like Rennie sucks, and I'm like Rennie is not that bad. She's just like you said, she's not as badass as Tina was, which it's like
yeah,
that's just something you can't compete with
that's
sometimes,
what
which is, and that's why I like that. It's not Rennie's fault. It's just when you do something so badass and then the next one isn't,
yeah,
it's just viewed in such a negative light.
yeah, exactly. And then like you know, it just sucks that like it's just a hard follow.
Yeah.
It's a hard follow after.
And it's like again, if this movie had mostly taken place in New York, I think it probably would be remembered better. But because the bulk of it did take place on the boat and New York was barely there, it's like
Yeah.
it was just a giant buildup to what felt like almost nothing, unfortunately.
And for a movie called Jason Takes Manhattan, like,
It didn't take
title, it didn't. There was like one shot like I did like in New York is when Jason's in Times Square.
Yep.
Yeah, like and I googled it, apparently they actually like filmed that part of Jason Times Square, like he's really there. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
And I think the rest of it was in Vancouver, I believe.
Yeah, exactly in Vancouver. It's like not.
Yep. The alleyways were shot in Vancouver. Oh, that scene where those two thugs like strapped her down and shot her up with heroin.
Oh yeah, honestly,
Oh, poor girl.
I honestly, I love Jason in that moment. Yeah, I'm glad he killed those dicks. Like,
No kidding.
he's the good guy in that scene. Although it's kind of unbelievable, disbelief. It kind of clips the suspension cord of disbelief because look, I've never taken it, but I've learned enough from drug awareness.
She was like stoned for what, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Bullshit. You put heroin into yourself, she would have been fucked the rest of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
If she survived, depending on if the needle was dirty and how much they shot into her.
Yeah, exactly. She would have been laying there for Jason to kill for 12 hours. So I was like, so when she started running away, I was like, that's not how it works, dude.
Right.
But like, okay, I've never taken heroin and I never will be, but like that, I know enough from drug awareness class to be like, that's
Yeah, my extent of the knowledge of heroin, literally, I don't care if I'm judged for this. My only knowledge of heroin comes from Breaking Bad.
yeah, me also.
That's it. So if they portrayed it wrong, then I don't know anything about heroin.
Yeah.
But let's see. So yeah, so you said most of the kills just didn't work for you in this movie, right?
One did.
Well, one did. We'll get to that one in a minute. But so most of the kills in the boat, they just didn't work, right?
I like the Asian girl's death. She was cool, like, seeing it.
That was cool because I think the colors really worked, and I did like the camera work of it spinning around and her getting like disillusioned and not knowing what's going on, the loud music, and like getting strangled and then just thrown to the floor. I felt bad for her because it's like some of these people like that, they just like that. She dies alone. She's scared. She doesn't know where she's going, and then choked to death by this masked murderer.
Yeah, and I like the camera guy's death. That was hilarious. And
The
then
stone.
the Sun and Rock, yeah. Those are like the three that stand out on the boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the rest on the boat were just standard slash. Well, the one chick, JJ, did get smashed in the face with her own guitar.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was.
She was kind of hot too for a rocker chick.
Yeah.
And so let's hit the kill that this movie is most famous for.
The boxing match kill. I love this movie. I like this movie just for that, honestly.
That was great. He, for like 5 minutes, punching Jason to the end of the wearing himself out, not doing shit.
Like, he's punching Jason like he's like this champion. He's punching Jason for like 5 minutes. Like, come on. And then and eventually like Jason's just taking all the shots, and then like he survived way worse. And then the guy just gets tired. Give your best shot. And then like Jason just like grabs him, takes like one uppercut, and cuts his head off with his fist. I was like, dude, even Mickey, the one punch gypsy from Snatch, couldn't do that. And
that was great.
Like, honestly, producers of Snatch, you want to make a Friday the 13th, if you want to make a crossover with Friday the 13th and have Mickey, the one punch gypsy, going on a boxing match with Jason, I would be all for it. I will pay to see that movie.
Oh, but yeah, that kill was a blast. His head rolls down, falls into a dumpster, and the lid closes. But oh shit, so we forgot to kind of talk about Mr. McCulloch real quick. So he was the asshole teacher, principal, whatever he was, Rennie's guardian. I think he was her uncle.
I like getting shoved into the freaking trash.
Yeah, the toxic waste or whatever in the barrel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the character. He's an asshole. Yes, he's a dick. Yeah. But it's almost like I could understand his anger, like when Tamara tried to seduce him and get it on camera to blackmail him. Yeah, understandably, I'd be pissed off. And it's like you can see throughout the film, he is very protective of Rennie. I don't think, and I'm glad they didn't go the route of like some weird creepy incest like sexual infatuation with her. I'm glad it really was just him having this massive overprotection for her, and obviously not being like a parent, maybe like an actual like raising her from birth type thing. You can tell the guy does not know how to be a parent, and he really fails at it. But it's like it's the thought to me that does count is he was scared for her and he genuinely cared about her. He just didn't know how to show it.
Right, exactly.
So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's like he's an asshole. His death was real fun to watch, but at the same time, I don't know if he obviously no. Obviously, there's a lot of people in these movies who don't deserve it, but he's one of those characters I think he just did not deserve to get killed the way he did. Same with Miss Van Dusen. It's like I thought she was gonna make it, and then she's stuck in the back of the car that just blows up, and it's like, shit, there goes one of the few good characters. Oh, and we haven't even brought up Rennie's boyfriend, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean is such a forgettable guy, though.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about him though.
There was nothing to say about him. I liked Sean. He genuinely seemed like he cared about Rennie a lot. I like that about him. Yeah. But it's like he just didn't do anything in this movie, really.
True.
So it's like we'll skip him and we'll just jump to the New York scenes because those are the most fun to talk about. That scene where Jason's walking down the street, those punks are listening to their music, and he just kicks their boombox.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
They whip out all their weapons, and all he does is lift up his mask, and they're like, shit, Holmes, we ain't fucking with you, and off they go. So I told you about this morning. I'll say it for those. A lot of people already know this one, but I'm going to say it anyways. The busboy in the restaurant who tried to stop Jason and got thrown over the bar.
Oh,
that was played by actor Ken Kurtzinger, who wound up playing Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, which we'll talk about next week. So it's like that's something nobody ever could have predicted. Basically, Jason fought Jason before he became Jason.
Nice.
So jumping down to the sewers.
Yeah.
Jason's death in this movie.
It's like, nah.
Did it work for you?
Nah, I didn't like it.
And frankly, I don't understand it. How did toxic waste, I'm pretty sure, doesn't run through sewers at midnight in New York, but whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But even if it did, it would just melt Jason. Why would it turn him back into little boy form?
Yeah, I don't really understand.
And that just made no sense. And even if they wanted to go that very weird, odd route, he looked nothing like how Jason looked when he actually was a little kid. Kind of like deformed and messed up. He just looked like a normal little kid laying there. Yeah. So it's like if the toxic waste of New York has the power to take a psychopath and turn him into a normal looking little kid.
Really serious shit down there.
Right. So, yeah, the ending of this movie just did not. This movie overall just did not work for a lot of people. And
yeah, I mean, like
I enjoyed it, but I can see why it does not work for.
But I just don't think it's as good as it's good. It's just not good.
It's fine, yeah. It's not that great.
It just reminds me of Revenge of the Fallen. Some scenes are like good, but overall the movie like as a whole is not good.
Mm-hmm. So basically, we hit this point, and Friday the 13th was just kind of it was falling apart. Paramount was just kind of they were done with it, and so they actually sold it to New Line, and New Line at the time they owned this was I believe at the time that this came out. Yep, at the time this came out, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise was over. And so I don't really know why. Aside from wanting to do Freddy vs. Jason in the future, I don't know why New Line would have bought this, but whatever. So now we are going to dive into Friday. Now we're going to be diving into Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
Right.
This one.
New Line one.
Yes, this was the first New Line one. This one, Santino, I'll let you go in a second. My first thoughts on this one is just, I am literally of two minds about this movie. As a standalone movie, I guess, I think this is full of some really cool potential and some cool ideas of a serial killer, somehow finding a way back from the dead or something. As a Friday the 13th movie, though, this just does not work for me. I they literally changed all of the lore about Jason in this one. I mean, he we still have to take 1 through 8 in continuity, and the last we saw of Jason, he was a little boy down in the sewers, and then as soon as we see him in this one, he's a grown adult back, Jason with the mask again.
Yeah, I don't like it. This is my least favorite of the three I watched.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Give your thoughts on the film. Go ahead.
I don't like the fact that Jason just ends up like being this revenant who possesses people.
He's basically a demon. Like Creighton Duke said, Jason is basically like a hellspawn. That little demon thing is the real Jason. Which I don't get. How did we start a franchise about a kid who obviously had some kind of disabilities, who supposedly drowned and grew up as a mongoloid in the woods? Now he's a demon that there's only one way to kill him with I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, it's the weirdest one for me. Like, okay, fair, credit where credit's due. The kills in this movie were amazing.
Yeah. Oh my favorite one will always be when they like elbow that fat lady in the face and they just cave her whole face in.
My favorite one was the fryer.
Oh, when the dude's head got stuck into it?
Yeah, like Rorschach. Oh, yeah, I love that. And like
this one, you know what I will give this one? This one, out of all of them, I would say this one felt the most brutal.
Yeah.
This is like that chick that got ripped in half in the tent. Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly. Like, or that guy that guy whose like entire body melts.
Oh, right after Jason left his body.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Exactly. Like, I personally like, like these are the best kills. They had like, okay, I will put it like this. They had like some of the best kills. It's like John Wick 3. It had like a lot of great kills, but the story was not as good as the others. Like, I don't appreciate Jason being this revenant, because like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch. Like, I'll take a telekinetic girl, but like Jason being a revenant, I'm not sold on that.
Me neither. I did not like it.
And I don't like the fact that it's just, we end up like Jason's not even in the movie. It's just like a bunch of people killing. It just takes away from like, okay, it's not anymore like a Friday the 13th. It's just like some assholes killing each other, and like the movie just tells you, oh, that's Jason. It's kind of like if the Joker was was like a mental parasite, and then the movie just tells us, oh, that's Joker, but like it doesn't really feel like it's Joker.
And it's funny because I loved the design of Jason in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I did like the design of Jason in this movie.
But it's like and it's weird because it's like, it doesn't like we're bad mouthing it, but it's like this is the first time I watched this one, I hated it. I fucking hated this film. And like, I'm a completionist when it comes to my movie collection. This was one I honestly considered like throwing out or selling, because I was like, I'm never going to watch this again. But it's like, the more I watch it, and I don't watch it that often, but every now and again, I do find more that I appreciate about it. But like I said, as its own thing, I can appreciate it. But as part of Friday the 13th, like 1 through 10 and Freddy versus Jason in the remake, this one just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It just like, it's a movie that it really doesn't fit when it comes to the story, and I don't like the story at all. I think like they just put Jason to a point of ethereal. Like, I'll take him as a zombie. I'll take him being brought back to life by like random stuff, but I just don't want to take him as this demon thing, because it's just like, it's just too far gone for me to really, like,
Well, it introduces something that obviously was never there. Like, maybe if there'd been some stuff alluding to it, maybe I could have bought it, but it just came the hell out of nowhere. Like at the end, they're like, oh, go to the Voorhees house and get the dagger that can kill Jason.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
where the hell does this
Yeah,
lore come from?
the magic dagger like coming out of nowhere to kill Jason. It's like the story is not good. Like what? Like I don't like. I would have preferred it if they just did a story of Jason killing people again instead of having like this deeper like demonic side to him.
They did. There was an interesting idea. I don't remember if it's a rumor. I don't remember if it was in the original script, but I do know at some point they wanted Jason's father to show up, named Elias Voorhees. And I think that possibly could have helped something. Like if they wanted to go this demonic route, you probably should have explained it better. Maybe if Creighton Duke had explained it a little more, but he kind of did a Force Awakens, if you think about it. They hit the point where they're like, tell us about this. I'll tell you another day. And we never find out. It's like, well, that's kind of important. But it's like maybe if they delved into it a little more, like that, if they had let's just say they did that. Let's just say Jason's father, Elias Voorhees, showed up and he gave the backstory. Him and Pamela had Jason, and he found out she was into some kind of like witchcraft or demonic activities or the occult or something, and she did something to Jason, some kind of like sacrifice, and a demon possessed her child or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I could believe it. And then that would explain maybe that would explain how he was able to come back to life, how he was able to endure an axe to the head, how he was still alive after all this. Maybe, but it's because they didn't go that far that it's like we don't need everything explained to us, but if you're going to change the lore in movie 9, you have to give us something.
Yeah, exactly. Like that doesn't make any sense. It honestly doesn't. And like that little thing crawling out of the head and like going to that girl, it's like, is that Jason? Is that him?
That's like Creighton Duke said, that the demon spawn thing, that's actually Jason.
That's just messed up because that was never explained before until now.
That's what I mean. It's like it doesn't line up with anything. And if there'd been some kind of like backtracking explanation, maybe I don't know, like a flashback, something to explain it, but it's like it just comes the hell out of nowhere. And it's like, how did Creighton Duke know all about this? And before anyone gets upset, from what I've heard, I've never read it and I can't confirm it. I think there's a comic that explains it. I could be wrong. The comic gives a little more backstory on Creighton Duke. Cool, but I'm sorry. Like it always goes, if you're going to take a vital piece of story information and stick it in a comic, and I need to read the comic to understand the movie, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I should not have to read a book, a comic, a side story to understand a pivotal point of a film.
Exactly. But I just feel like it's just not good. I mean, like, I appreciate the kills.
So, like I said at the beginning, let's say this was just a standalone slasher film about a psycho that got killed, blown up, and this was just a movie about him, like the beginning, the end, that's it, no other movies. Do you think this could have been like an enjoyable supernatural slasher film for you?
Yeah. Yes.
So we agree. We're both of two minds about the film. As a standalone thing, it could have been awesome. Connected to Friday the 13th, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And I really have nothing to say about it because it's like, yes, the kills are great, and I like the kills, but I just feel like the lore they present here with that magic dagger that turns into a sword for some reason, and they stab you in it. I just like that's just like they've hit a point where like, okay, that's just too far gone where I can't even believe that anymore.
Yeah, because it's like, don't forget, this is Jason. He got hacked to pieces by a little kid back in part 4 and he died. Now it requires a dagger, which before we dive into that, I want to tell you, remember how I was talking about how Kane Hodder was in this movie outside of the Jason makeup?
Yeah.
He was one of the guards outside of the coroner's office. The one with the facial hair. That was Kane Hodder. So let's jump to the end real quick. So the ending. Okay, so Jason's niece, his niece, stabs him with the dagger, kicks it into him, and all the arms from hell start coming up, dragging him down. What did you think of that ending?
That was like that. But I was like, I can't even believe this anymore. Like Jason's like, there's a point with Friday the 13th, like, okay, yeah, it's supernatural in a way because you have like the telekinetic girl, and like I appreciate, I couldn't believe, like, Jason at the bottom of the wall. Like, for example, if Tina just like left Jason down there in the part 7, he died. He technically died. He was like in part 8, like his lifeless body is like there, and then
Yeah, I'm not back to part 8 on that. I love that shot where they showed his dead body under the electric power cable in the beginning of part 8. Like, that was cool.
yeah, exactly. Tina left him there, and then like that's what happened. And part 8 is him.
He gets electrocuted and comes back.
Yeah, that I can't believe that, but I can't believe like him as being this like unholy demon that gets dragged on. That's too far gone. That's too far gone.
Yeah, it doesn't work with what they've set up so far, and a lot of fans thought the exact same when this came out. This was hated when it came out. It's another one that's starting to develop more of a cult following. Like I said, I don't completely hate. I hate this movie in connection to Friday the 13th. I don't hate it for a movie as in itself.
I don't hate it. And like if it was like a standalone like psycho demon killer, then I would have appreciated it
more.
more.
This would have been fucking incredible if this was a standalone film.
Yeah, but
or like the start of a new franchise or something.
Like the fact that it has Jason attached to it, it's like I can't believe it. It's like
Yep.
Yeah, and then the ending, with Freddy Krueger's hand.
The very endings. What happened?
Yeah, at the end of the movie, like Jason's mask is lying on the floor, and Freddy Krueger's hand pops up. Like, whoa, holy shit! Like they were setting this up apparently. Like, I didn't even know that. I knew there was a Freddy versus Jason. I didn't know that.
Did that take you by surprise when Freddy's gloved hand came out?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. Like, have you met anyone who watched it in theaters and like, oh my god, I can't believe it's happening?
I personally haven't, but hey, anyone listening to the podcast, if you were there in theaters and saw that, please tell us what your reaction was like and tell us the reaction of other people, because that's almost one of those things. I mean, I know it's not as big, but I mean, this is right up there with, no, Luke, I'm your father. Like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, holy shit, like I didn't expect that happening. Like Freddy Krueger, like coming, like they're doing a crossover. And I'm like, wow, insane.
And unfortunately, the crossover didn't happen for I think 10 or 11 years.
Sucks. But yeah, I think that's where we can leave Jason. I mean, like there's not really much to say about part 9. Like he's in hell, and
yeah, I actually think we said quite a bit about part 9. But yeah, so we're gonna start winding up this evening. Yeah, so 7, 8, and 9. I mean, of this trio of films, what do you think? Has the franchise gone up and then fallen back down, or do you think it kind of plateaued out with 7 and 8?
Part 7 was like a great, like when I first watched it, like when I watched part 7, like that's like this is like one of the best entries ever. And then part 8 was okay, and then just 9's like I don't really like 9 that much. And then hopefully like I don't know where I will fall for Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the remake yet, but hopefully I will be able to appreciate it more.
I think you'll have fun with Jason X. Freddy vs. Jason is just it's just a fan movie. It's the story. I don't think is we'll cover that. Freddy vs. Jason is a very mixed bag, and then the remake. I don't know where you'll fall in the remake, so it's I'm not sure. So but yeah, I had a blast talking about these.
Me also.
Guys out there listening, what did you think of 7, 8, and 9? What did you think of the downfall of the Paramount era and the beginning of the New Line era? Did it work? Do you absolutely despise part 9? Do you love 7 like Santino? Let us know. I love hearing what you guys think about these movies.
Thanks, guys, and I hope that you enjoy. And I think like Friday the 13th, like part 7. I think I'll remain like part 7 is like my favorite one so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, like I said, I know a lot of people who agree with you. So it's like you ain't in the minority. I know it's gonna be fun when we get to our rankings. I can't wait to see what everybody thinks of All of them. It's going to be fun. 12 movies we're going to be ranking. It's going to be it's going to be a big ass list, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you for listening in tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. We got 1 week left next week, and then yeah, we'll be doing a separate episode where we kind of cap everything off. And yeah, next week we will be tackling Jason X, Freddy versus Jason, and the remake. So tune in for that. And then there's one Sunday left at the end of the month where we'll do something special. Santino will be telling you guys what that is at the end of the episode next week. But until then, guys, have a great week, and we will see you soon. I'm Chad, signing out.
And I'm Santino. See you soon, guys.